Hello, everyone. John Hidalgo here. I run the Austin Filmmakers, Texas Filmmakers, and Austin Producers and Directors Facebook groups. And most of the time, those groups run pretty smoothly. Although occasionally, especially with the Austin Filmmakers, that's been around for 11 years with over 17,000 people. Occasionally you have some rough spots, and over the last week or so, we've had some rough spots. So, given that I haven't really done anything like this or talked to you all directly, certainly not in a long time, I figured it was probably time for me to make a little video and go over some things. Um, One of the big areas is going to be going over the rules because that's where a lot of contention comes in, and they haven't been updated since August of 2019. So I am probably going to be going back through them in the next few months. But for the moment, because there's been some contention with a few people and not a lot of explanation, um, and that may be my fault if I've not communicated these things well in a manner that makes sense to people. My apologies. I will endeavor to do better. But let's go through the rules here. All right. In terms of general posts, um, everything needs to be kept relevant to the geographical area. If it's Texas filmmakers, well, that's Texas. If it's the Austin Filmmakers Group or Austin Producers and Directors, that's that geographical area is no further north than, say, Georgetown, and previously it's stopped south in South Austin. I'm going to be making a little bit of a change to that, in that I'm going to include, because of Texas State University, I'm going to include San Marcos. I may occasionally consider some stuff because there's some people in Colleen. I might make some allowances here and there depending upon, but for all intents and purposes, from San Marcos to Georgetown, that's our geographical area. Now, let's remember next rule. There are minors on this group. So please keep that in mind when you're making your post and when you're making comments, that we have minors. So no pornographic material, no selling of drugs. Haven't had any problems with any of these, but I'm going to go ahead and state that. So um, make your post with it in mind that there are minors present. In terms of selling equipment, studio space, this will somewhat apply to job postings that I'll go into further detail. Posting your work, you need, whatever it is, the poster needs to be in the geographical area of the group. So if you're selling film equipment and you're in Austin, you're good. But if you're trying to sell equipment in, and you're in like Ohio or something, or you're, doing motion graphics, but you're in the UK, that's not going to get approved. The reason being is that I want to protect and promote the filmmakers in the, in the geographical area. All right. There are other groups where people can promote their stuff, but you need to be from the geographical area. That being said, if somebody posts and says, I'm looking for, somebody to do color correction All right. Anyone in the world can reply to that. Just can't make offers selling that. This one, rule number 4, I'm looking at moving to rule number 1 because I think it's important. Please be civil and professional. It's real easy when you're dealing in a text format to forget that you're dealing with a fellow human being on the other end of that. And that doesn't just apply to me, that applies to anybody on the group. All right. Please be respectful to everyone else. All right. It's okay to disagree, but if you're going to disagree, make it about the topic. Don't make it personal. If things get personal, that's going to be a big problem. All right. So keep it civil, keep it professional. In dealing with me as an admin, I'm going to ask the same. I'm also going to ask you to be respectful of my time. I recently had an issue where I was doing my level best to be patient with somebody, and we had a disagreement, but they kept coming over and over at me for hours on end. I do have a life outside of these groups, all right? And I'm going to try to be understanding. I'm going to try to be reasonable, but sometimes we may disagree. Please be respectful of my time, and I will try to be respectful of yours, and recognize that at a certain point, we may be in an impasse and we may have to agree to disagree. If I ask you as the admin about something you have posted, please be respond promptly. Because in particularly when it comes to if you report something, well, let's talk about, it's not in the rules yet, but let's talk about reporting stuff because it kind of relates. If you're going to report a post, send me a private message as to what the issue is with that post, why you're reporting it. Tell me why it's breaking the rules. Now, if it's not breaking the rules, but you don't like it, that's not grounds for making a report on a post. But if it does violate the rules, I definitely want to know, especially if it's something that's scammy or spammy, because I'm usually pretty good about catching the scammers, but they're always coming up with new stuff. So I may not recognize it, or it may not be as obvious to me as it is to you. That getting back to reporting and contacting me, if I don't get, if you don't tell me why you're reporting it, then I'm going to privately come to you and say, hey, why are you reporting this post? If I don't get a response, I'm going to run out of options real quick. My option of last resort is to tag you in that post and there ask you why you're reporting it. Now, I'd really rather not do that, and I don't think people like that. All right, and I get it. I wouldn't like it either. So please help me out. Please, when you make a report, contact me privately. Tell me why you're reporting it. Or if you don't do that, but I reach out to you, then please respond to that, in a day or so. Okay, while it's still fresh. All right. Blocking admins is not allowed. All right. And that's pretty true with most groups. If you block an admin, that's a big red flag too. That's going to be a problem. So please don't do that. I haven't had anybody do that in a while, but again, that will be a problem. Any posts that are discriminatory, and that could be ethnicity, gender, religious perspective. Um, those are going to be a problem. All right. Um, where this has been a problem, I had one that was really creepy a few years ago, where there was this guy who wanted an all-female crew. All right. And I could get a sense that he was a creeper. And I don't want to see people being sexually harassed. So usually there's a reason, um, or usually I'll not allow something like that. Occasionally, if somebody's doing, say, like they're doing a documentary on people who've been um, discriminated against as a particular minority or have been dealt with sexual assault, or there's something unique about that particular population where who's on the crew is going to be a sensitive issue. State that in your post, make that case, and more likely than not, I'm going to work with you on that. But otherwise, if you're just looking for young women to chase around on your set, that's not going to get approved. All right. If you are offering services, um, going back to selling equipment, this relates. Um, Particularly if you're like, hey, I want to be a PA, or I can be a PA, or I can do editing for you, I can do motion graphics or what have you. All right. As long as you're in the geographical area, great. But if you say, hey, I just want experience and I will work for free, that will not get approved. There are there's too much of an issue with people, unscrupulous producers in the industry who will take advantage of people. And if they can get free labor, they'll grab it. And that hurts everybody because that reinforces that they can do that bad behavior. And that's not good for anybody. So I mean, you're certainly welcome to say, hey, I'm eager and ready to start and willing to work, but please, um, or I may even have competitive rates, but please do not offer to do work for free. All right. um, Getting to casting and crew calls. And I think this is where we see a number of issues. All right. If it's student or amateur, you can post unpaid positions all day long. All right. Amateur or student. Anything else will be considered professional. And I'm not going to get into what qualifies as professional or what doesn't, because there are people out there who claim to be professionals who aren't really. And there are people who are just amateurs who are very professional. So I can't get into that. What I'm going to look at is a student or amateur position or production. If it is, you are good to go for posting unpaid positions. Anything else, it needs to state that it's paid. Ideally at the top of your posting, so that I can make it real easy for me to approve it. Similarly, if you're asking for anybody to provide services or in this case, screenplays or table reads or anything that where you're asking somebody to do something is considered a job post. Okay. So everything that I just talked about, unpaid and paid, applies. If you're looking for interns, it has to go through some sort of educational institution. This is another area where people get taken advantage of, where somebody will post saying, we're looking for interns. And they're not really doing anything that you consider part of a normal internship. They're not teaching anything. You're not going to be learning anything. They're just looking for free labor. So unless you're going through some sort of educational institution, um, internships are, posting for internships are not going to be allowed. All right. Tutorials. If you're posting a tutorial, a free, hey, this is how you do color correction, for example, you can post that um, from anywhere in the world, providing that it's not a lead up to something that's going to result in a sales pitch, where it's like, attend my seminar, my free seminar, and the free seminar is how to purchase whatever the service is, or my acting classes, or what have you. Similarly, technical questions are allowed. If you're going to be asking, editing questions, we'll allow that as long as it's um, filmmaking related. Crowdfunding. Again, you need to be in the local geographical area. All right. Because if I didn't limit it to that, one, still want to protect and promote people in Austin or in Texas. But if we allowed for crowdfunding from other places, we would be inundated, and the people who are local would get drowned out. So aside from that, I'm sure I'm missing something. I did talk about reporting. I'm looking at a list here right now of the rules. So there is an issue of AI. We don't have rules for AI yet. I'm looking at that because it's a real issue. And not actually, let me do this real quick while it's on my mind. Similar to, and then I'm going to get back to AI. Similar to crowdfunding, if you want to show your work, again, you need to be from the local geographical area. And again, reasoning being is if we let everybody from all over the world post, the local people will get drowned out. All right, AI, back to AI. Don't have rules for that yet. And still sorting that out because on the one hand, I can see where there are issues of plagiarism or people's image being used without their permission. And that's a big problem. All right. But I can also see where for certain tasks, AI can be useful. So it's still sorting that one out. I will be giving that some thought and we'll come up with something. I do have on the Austin Filmmakers group, there is a thread right now about this very topic, and I encourage you to respond to that because I want to know what you have to say. So I think that covers, I am probably forgetting something, but I think that probably covers it. If you have any questions about how the group works, I would encourage you to contact me privately through messaging. That's the best way. If you have comments about this video, please feel free to comment in this post where the video is being presented. That's certainly okay. Again, I'm wanting to provide a useful and safe forum for people doing filmmaking in Austin and in Texas. It may not always seem this way, but I do try very hard to be fair and equitable. Um, if you feel like I'm not, again, please private message me. Um, and as long as we can have a civil and professional conversation, I will listen to you and listen to you and listen to you. Um, um, s- but please be respectful of me, and I will be respectful of you. So there's probably a whole lot of other things I could cover, but I think that's going to do it for today. So thank you so much for listening to me, and we'll see you in the groups. Thanks.